Good anytime, my fuzzies, to a quick review of a game I just finished. All opinions in this video are mine and mine alone, so just please enjoy and don't take them too seriously. Thank you. Good anytime, my fuzzies. I'll just restart. Don't need that. Good anytime, my fuzzies, and welcome to a quick review of Scooby-Doo in the Spooky Swamp. As always with these quick reviews, I do a 1 to 5 system. 0 or 1 being that it was abysmal, it did not really accomplish what it wanted to do, or it just did it miserably and it wasn't executed well. 3 usually being that it was passable. Whatever it was trying to do, it did it. And then 5 being that it took what it was trying to do and really escalated it to a great position that I admire and would love to see more of. So anyways, yeah. So we'll start with the thing I usually start with, story. Now with this game, Scooby-Doo in the Spooky Swamp, there's kind of one major story and then multiple smaller stories within it. The major story being Leela needs ingredients, and the Scooby Gang must go to different places to collect those ingredients, or Scooby and Shaggy must get those ingredients without telling the rest of the gang, to then make a stew that they really want. So that was the main one for the swamp that flew lined throughout the whole game. El Muncho was that there was a zombie mucho guys coming up, and so they're scaring the town away, and you had to figure out why that was going on. In the Howling Peaks, which was the last area of the game, you had to figure out what the Yeti was doing and who was behind that. Overall, with the stories, the Leela one was fine. It's kind of weird. She doesn't really just say, hey, this is what's going on. Well, I guess she explains, well, I didn't want to tell you what's going on because then you might not help me and whatnot. So I kind of get why that was going on. It feels very much like, was it necessarily needed? I understand why she didn't want to tell the rest of the Scooby Gang, because Fred, Daphne, and Velma would have kind of been like, this doesn't seem right. And surprisingly, Shaggy and Scooby don't see that, because I don't see them as idiots. They're not stupid, but they have their moments of not being too bright. But I don't know, that was weird. El Mancho was good. They were all fine in the end. I don't need to go through the whole thing. It's a quick review, not a review every little part of it. Overall, with the story, it was pretty passable. Like, there's not much else to do. The mysteries were enjoyable enough, I think. There was kind of a mystery of who did it, but even, I think El Muncho had a good, it's between these two characters. But the other one, Howling Peaks, kind of just had the one who it was really clear to be all throughout. So that's fine, dandy. So I'm going to give it give it a 4. It's interesting, and I like how Leela impersonated people that Scooby Gang knew to get them to that location, and it just there's a mystery there, and in the end they get the ingredients. So I'm going to give it a 4. It had some interesting beats and whatnot, but it's 3.5. It's a little above basic for a story of this caliber and whatnot. Going on to characters, you have the usual characters of the Scooby Gang, but then you had the other ones from the other areas. Constantine, the sheriff, the two brothers from El Mancho, Lilia from the swamp, Philippe, who's just everywhere, and whatnot. Howling Peaks had Moose, the one grumpy whisker construction guy, and then Anna, and then the one chateau guy. So overall, nothing really stood out overly. It's passable, but there was no one who was really like, oh yeah, they're a really interesting character in this and whatnot. So again, I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5 because the characters were interesting and connectable, but overall it was kind of it's passable. It's not just bare bones. Here you go. This is what's going on. Go do it, and whatnot. The locations, we had 3 locations in this game, being the swamp, El Mancho, the Mexican town. I think it's pretty sure it's Mexican or Mexico. The town, the town influenced by Mexico and whatnot, and then Howling Heights, which is the snowtop ski resort. And again, they're fine. The maps had a lot of just long ways down one way, then you'd go down the other way all the way down, then you'd have to come back and whatnot, and go up the center and whatnot. So again, like I always knew what I was looking at. There's some interesting things where there was at least not all like, oh, it's just Snowy Village. But you had like the mining lodge, you went to the cave at one point. Leela has her own special cauldron in areas and whatnot. So again, I think for locations, I'll give it a 4. They were nice. It wasn't just bland all the way through. There was some interesting parts to those levels to make them a little more engaging, but it wasn't mind-blowing by any degree or amount. So that's story, characters, location, the gameplay. Then the gameplay, how it was solving the mystery and whatnot, it kind of just happened as you went along. The most there was you had a camera to capture ghosts and picture people. Every individual Scooby Gang person in the Scooby Gang had their own ability that only they could do to do certain tasks and whatnot. So it was needed to switch to all of them, which is nice to do. And then you had the magnifying glass, but the camera and the magnifying glass weren't really needed all that much. I think in the actual store, for collectibles, the camera was needed quite a bit, but in the story, I don't think it really was. I think you had just once or twice you had to take pictures of people, and that wasn't all that difficult. But overall, like, I do like all the Scooby Gang having their own abilities. They also had their own attack patterns. I think they all did the same amount of damage, but how they attacked was different from each other. It wasn't all just throwing punches and kicks. They had a character throwing punches and another one throwing kicks. And then 2 ranged characters, and then Scooby-Doo with the sausage links. So it's interesting. At least. And then there was quite a few areas to do it. Mostly Shaggy and Scooby, because they're the ones that the story is focused on. And then getting the ingredients. But overall, I'm going to give it a 4 as well. It didn't just have it, all the Scooby Gang were the same character, which they could have easily done. But no, they all had their own individual character skills that you needed to do at certain times to do certain things to progress and get collectibles and whatnot. So it is, to me, a 4. It's above average. But not mind-blowingly spectacular. Anything else I want to cover? Because we had the story, we had the characters, we had the area, we had the gameplay. No, I think that's about it without going into, like, collectibles and whatnot, which were fun. Yeah, no, I'm not a collectible channel. I'm not going into that, because that's, if you want a collectibles, then you go for collectibles. They are a beast, and they're better men, women, and any pronoun out there that they want. They are better than me for talking about collectibles and whatnot. So all in all, with Scooby-Doo and the Spooky Swamp, I give it a 4. It was pretty mindless, but there were still some things you had to work with, like switching characters to do certain tasks and whatnot. The puzzles, they had some good puzzles in there, but again, nothing where we were stumped for hours and hours on end. But it was still fun. They had some good stuff in there thrown in to the mix, so you can kind of have fun and engage with it. So yeah, just a 4. It's just, it wasn't completely by the books bland. It was fun. I enjoyed it. My girlfriend Melina, who joined me, I believe enjoyed it. But yeah, it was nothing mind-blowing. So anyways, 4 out of 5. I give a lot of high numbers. But anyways, thank you, my Fuzzies, for watching as always. I hope you enjoyed this quick review. All the points and ideas and ratings is just all on me. This is what I think personally, and you may think differently. But anyways, thank you for watching and have a good anytime. Take care.